Aloha and welcome to Werks. This is James. So first time I'm going to be doing an unboxing, or this video is going to be a gambit of things. Kind of a thank you to subscribers, thank you to the support of my friends that I've met over the past few months. And it'll run from one thing to another. I want to acknowledge a few gifts that I received from my son, from my wife. So let's get moving. First off, I want to say that if you guys have not seen Calhoun Knives, Nate, I'd recommend going to his channel. He's going to be doing a giveaway for when he gets to 1,000 subscribers. I think he's only 18 away. So any support you guys could give him to get to there before the New Year's, that was his goal, I would appreciate it. While we're doing a few shout outs, I want to acknowledge some of the guys that really have been there, that I got to know over the past few months, and really stand-up guys. Thomas, that pocket knife guy, he's getting pretty close to, I think it's 800 or more subscribers. Casey at Cawthon Cutlery, he's past 1,000 and he's currently doing a giveaway. So I'd recommend going to his channel. Can't forget Matt at Dirty Old Patch Exhibit. Fantastic guy. Big supporter of blade blubber. Bobby at Rugged Cross Knives. One of the first guys I ever met, talked with. Really awesome guy. Mangus at Wicked Blades. Down to earth, straightforward. One of the first ones to reach out to me and talk with me. Chris, man, what can I say about Chris, man? That guy is a savant when it comes to working on things. He picks up things quick, very down to earth. With the minimal tools he has, he does some fantastic things. He has a beautiful collection. And more importantly, I actually respect him as a friend, so check his channel out. JC Mountain Ajar. Hope I got that right. Or Halo. I don't know if I'm getting that right for you, JC. JC's an awesome guy. Love him. Brother Blades. Diamond Knives and Crafts. Jerry the Shelby knife guy. Knife Crazy. Billy at Shedworks Cutlery. Scott, Southern Knife Hobbyist. If you haven't watched any of his videos, you're missing out. That guy is, really good at working on knives. Bubba's EDC. And I know I'm missing a few other ones, Of course, when I get a package from Steven at SJ Relics, hopefully it'll have a sticker in there. But I didn't purposely save him for last, but Steven was the first person that I reached out to when I was thinking about doing this YouTube channel. I actually, was really hesitant. And I reached out to him because I saw his slips and I wanted one of his slips. And in talking to him and, getting to know him a little bit more while I was in North Carolina, just not too far, at least from my perspective, from an Alaskan point of view, he was not that far away from me. And I really wanted to drive down and meet him in person, but most definitely when we get down there again, when we go to visit our son, our grandson, and our daughter-in-law, Stephen is going to be one of the places that we stop. But man, Stephen, one of the best people that I've ever met, really good personality, very talented. I mean, how many people, can say that they're a musician, a leather worker, a hairstylist? The guy is just talented all the way around, and he's down to earth, very humble individual. And I'm happy to say that he's a friend. Brian, I hope I didn't forget to say your name. Brian, another good guy that I've talked with, very proud to know him, very strong-minded individual in his faith, and I very much appreciate that so much. You know, there's a lot of channels out there that I didn't reach out to. Well, kind of which leads me into this. Jersey Knife Guy, Pete, one of the last ones that I reached out to. Actually, one of the first ones, one of the last ones I connected with. So far, Pete, man, he's been a really good guy in supporting me and saying some really kind things. And he's one of the first channels I ever started watching years ago about knives. Very knowledgeable, straightforward, and honest. And his honesty is what I absolutely appreciate about him. There's a few others. You know, you got Knife Delights, Tom. Tom, man, I tell you, I love watching his videos. It just comes across as one of those people you just want to meet. Kevin, the Knife Doctor, you know, who doesn't know Kevin, the Knife Doctor? I don't have a sticker or a coin. It's kind of a hint if you watch one of my videos. But he definitely is a down-to-earth guy, seems very personable, and I'd love to meet him. Hopefully we can get down and maybe meet every one of you guys at the knife show next year, as we have a reason to head down in that direction, not only for visiting our son, but, man, you guys got some of the best food down in the South. Good people, too. So the ones I haven't mentioned that I did meet, I apologize. There's just so many out there. Junior Knife Collector. I know that you said you were going to send me a sticker. I'm still waiting on that. I don't know if it got lost in the mail or not, but I appreciate you and your efforts in collecting. You seem like a really strong-minded individual as to wanting to do what you want to do and get what you want. My wife actually complimented you as well for you being so young and dedicated to having a channel. You know, which kind of brings me to what I was trying to get at, I guess, with the rest of the guys. There's so many other knife guys out there that I watch that I didn't reach out to, and it's not on purpose. It's just that, you know, there's only so much you can do with time and everything else, and it gets a little daunting at times. So if you want to reach out to me, please do so. You know, there's a few other guys that I'm just starting to connect with to, you know, either do trades or just sticker swaps or just to say hi. You know, I think it's very important that we at least kind of get to know everybody who's playing in the same sandbox, so to speak. I think everybody here gets along great. It's one of those things that drew me to wanting to do this is because I seen the camaraderie. As I mentioned in my previous video, I seen everything that you guys do to get along, the faith that you guys have, the friendship, and I guess it's the trust that I see that everybody has for each other. People mailing out trades, you know, without receiving their end of the trade, mailing out their portion of the trade to kind of in hopes, maybe I shouldn't say hopes, with the trust that the other person is going to do the right thing. That's something that I grew up with. And, you know, I've always tell everybody, I'm as good as my word. And if I tell you something, I'm going to follow through on it. Whether it, you know, I burn both ends of the candle, I'm going to do it. I see a lot of draws to this community that we have lost over the years, and not to get too preachy about things, I just wanted to be a part of that. So that's a little bit of why I started doing this. It wasn't to, you know, show off anything or to kind of tout anything. It was just, you know, to be a part of something. Now, with that being said, I know there's going to be a lot of questions because I get them here and there. A lot of people are probably wondering what this fur is. And this is called a spotted seal. And these are, there's a lot of them where I'm from. I'm from Hooper Bay, which is on the west coast of Alaska. We're a Yupik community, and we are subsistence hunters and fishermen. And for years, I would hunt seals, walrus, whales, to provide food for my family, my extended family. And this is one of, I think, 3 or 4 seals I got on one day when I was with my my oldest son, when he ended up catching his first seal. And I know the term catching, when you guys hear it, might sound a little weird because I'm not catching fish. It's actually an animal. But in our culture, we don't say kill. That's not appropriate. It's not something that we refer to because in our culture, it's our belief that every animal has a soul and moves to the same place where we do. So with that being said, I'll show a picture of me actually getting this specific seal right here. And as you can see, it's a little more gray in the picture, but you know, the tanner who did this didn't wash it properly, and when you have too much oil on the fur, it yellows the fur. But it's still a beautiful fur. You guys might also ask, what do we do with a seal? Well, same thing you guys do with deers. You know, we eat the meat, we render the seal oil down to what we call okok, which is used to preserve smoked salmon. It was used as lamp oil to provide heat and light. It was also used to coat things that you didn't want to rust. I mean, it was used for a lot of things. And I actually wanted to put that on the label instead of muktuk. But man, I thought to myself, I needed to be a little kind to you guys that can't speak Yupik, because okok is hard to say. It's a lot harder to say than muktuk. So muktuk in our language is whale skin with the fat attached, roughly. So I thought it was similar enough where I put that on there. It would be associated with fat or oil. Little bit about blade blubber before I go on. I don't really have that for sale. I usually give that out to people that I do projects with, restore knives, make anvil for. You know, I'll include maybe a small little jar. Let me show you guys so you guys aren't trying to imagine something when I have it right here in front of me. A little jar with people who might want to trade a slip for something. And I got dye on my hands from leather work, sorry. But that's what it is. It's the same stuff that's in that, but without the cool sticker, because the stickers for a 1-inch container cost like twice as much as the ones for the 2-inch, so no go there. So this is what it is. If you guys are interested in purchasing blade blubber, you know, let me know. And I'm not trying to say that my product's better than any wax and oil product out there. I mean, it's no secret. Anybody can do that. I think what makes this unique is its name in itself. You know, there's a lot of history to mountain men, people that lived off of the land using bear fat, seal oil, and things like that to coat and protect their metal, to even lubricate some of their firearms. So there's some historical context to that here in Alaska. And I thought it sounded cool. Sounds a lot better than blade butter. I'm more Alaskan. I shouldn't say better, more Alaskan than blade butter. But as you can see, it has just 4 ingredients. One is in here that's not labeled, and it's vitamin E oil. So basically it has beeswax, mineral oil, and essential oil, and vitamin E oil. The essential oil is that of the wild rosemary plant. I had purchased some of that essential oil from Canada. It's what we refer to it as here is ayok, which is Eskimo tea. And it has a really fragrant smell to it, and it actually tastes really good in tea. Something that whenever I go into the tundra, it makes me a little less homesick. And I put that in there because I thought it'd be something cool to tie who I am to where I'm from, and let you guys at least experience kind of some of the smells of the tundra. So enough about that, but if there's any interest, let me know. So I got a few gifts. My main gift that my wife got me for Christmas still has not arrived yet. Go figure, you know, mail to Alaska. For some reason, when they ship things ground advantage and it goes through Seattle, it'll get dumped onto the barge, which adds another 2 weeks to the shipping time. It's terrible. But I'll show you guys when that comes in. But what she did end up getting me, which I thought was really thoughtful, and I didn't even have these, and it's pretty cool, is she got me a Buck 110 Slim and a Buck 112 Slim, both in 2 different colors. Babe, if you're watching this, they make a black one too and a drop point, I think. Just kidding. These are good. These are really nice gifts, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. My youngest boy, you know, I showed a video of a couple knives that my oldest son and my oldest girl and my granddaughter purchased me for Christmas. I still got, my third girl also bought me a knife, but of course that's stuck in the mail somewhere, and I'll add that to the other video as well. But this just came in today, and this is from my youngest boy. My youngest boy is named after my grandfather. My grandfather's name was Pius, and yes, that's after the Pope. Long history of why that was done, but back in the 1920s and 30s when the Catholics came into Alaska, a lot of times they gave names that were familiar to them, and Pius was very familiar to them. So youngest boy is named Pius. He got me this case Barlo. Came in a little too late. I would have showcased that last week. But I'll do a little video on this, a short of this here later. But this is a really cool knife. Give me 1 second. Had to look at my cheat card just to make sure, because I don't have any of this year, I think. But that's a 1999. I mean, look at the stag on that. It's one little beginning of a pin crack. Nothing that, right now, it's not worth like stabilizing with super glue, but if that gets some moisture on there, some blade blubber, that'll stop it from spreading. But look at that side, look at the pile side. I mean, half stops, beautiful snap on that. I mean, what more can you ask for in a Barlo? You know, everything on there is nice and put together. And it's funny because 1999, now that I'm thinking about it, I think was about the first year I really started buying case knives. And I primarily bought a few case hobos and trappers, police trappers, and I kind of backed off after that. But that's a pretty cool one right there. I was digging in my pocket looking for a knife. Don't know where my Leatherman went. But so, I did a trade with Ryan at Tommy Boy Knives. And this came in, I haven't opened it. I'm not going to discuss the details of the trade. But, you know, in talking to him, wow, this knife is sharp. Very pleasant individual to speak with, very respectful. You know, I'd recommend checking his channel out. Didn't have a sticker from you, Ryan, sorry about that. Hopefully you included one in this. So, going into this box, don't know what that's all about. Ryan, I don't know what that was padding, but thanks for that. I use it to wipe the blades. But I got a Rosecraft knife from him. And this is their Cumberland River Coke bottle. I mean, you guys know Rosecraft. These are, you know, Chinese knives, but man, they are, I mean, I personally think they're really nice quality made knives. I'm all about supporting the US, absolutely. But at the same time, when other countries make nice things, and they do, and they kind of put some of the US manufacturers on edge or on their toes because they're doing maybe just as good or sometimes better quality work. It makes for better competition. It maybe makes the US competition that much better. I'll say this for Rosecraft, I think they're 100% machine made. There's not any handmade to them, which, as you know, that's what draws us to a lot of knives like Case Knives and Bear & Son, is because there's some aspect of handwork to them, or at least supposed to be. So here's another one I was expecting on the trade, this 1/8 pocket worn. Uncle Henry, wow, and I wasn't expecting this. That's an extra, you know, thank you. Thank you so much, Ryan, I appreciate that. I'm hoping that you get your box here pretty soon. And I really didn't expect that. That's a nice gift, so thank you and Merry Christmas for that. You know, very, very cool. You forgot a sticker. Again. So this next box, you know, I think everybody knows who Casey at Cawthon Cutlery is. He told me he was waiting on this and it was going to be sent out and probably arrive after Christmas. It just came in today. I haven't opened it. I'm going to use my big beefy boker. I haven't shown that in any of the videos, but it was sitting right next to me because I thought about doing a video on this. If you guys want to see more about that, let me know. God, that thing has a crazy snap to it. And it's sharp. All right, guys, you see how that's done? Ryan, Tommy Boy, all you guys, man. Casey, I appreciate that. I'm going to give these to my kids. You know, I'm going to probably even rock one of these on my boat. You know, thank you. That's awesome. So I have no idea what these are. If you guys watch any of Casey's videos, you guys know that he likes the Japanese Parker knives. And if you guys see some of my videos and my comments, I too as well like Parkers. I think they're cool knives, often underrated. And man, that is super cool. That will fit right in with my collection. Look at that. Thank you, Casey. Oh, coming back home. That is super cool. That's a Frost Cutlery, Japan, which is also another one that I collect. You guys saw my recent video on my Parker that was scrimshawed. This was an Alaskan knife. I got a few others. Beautiful knives. That's awesome. Thank you, Casey. I know what this is without even opening it. There you go. I knew exactly what that is, and I'll tell you guys a little bit why this is important, at least to me. Man, that's in beautiful shape. That's awesome. I love that. Man, Casey, that's such a beautiful gesture for you to do that. And there's this card right here. I'm going to read it first, not out loud, but read it, make sure that it's all right to share. Surprised no more stickers fell out of this envelope. All right, so it says, James, just want to say thank you for the amazing slip and gifts. Most of all, I appreciate the friendship and fellowship. Knives are, of course, a source of the fun, but the friends gained along the way is the gift. As I told you, I enjoyed your old-timer gifts and granddaughter videos the most. After you told me about your grandfather's knife, I already had this one in mind. Feel free to keep or pass this along to the next generation, but ensure it gets used along the way. Merry Christmas, my friend. Your Southern Iluk, Casey. So I call Casey my Iluk. So in our language, when we have a cousin that's like a brother and somebody we want to acknowledge, even if they're not blood family, we call them Iluk because now he's my family. So, my Iluk from the South, I really appreciate you. Thank you for these gifts. Not to get too much into the weeds in this particular knife is, this knife kind of started my interest in knife collecting, so to speak. My grandfather, Pius, who I referenced earlier, he raised me from when I was 12 years old until I was an adult. He gave me structure in my life that wasn't there before. He was in the military for 38 years. He was a territorial guard member from when he was 14 years old to when he was 18, which means he was working, volunteering to notify the Army, the military, of any activity that was happening on the west coast of Alaska. Territorial Guard members were about my grandfather's age and a little older, and they were instrumental in notifying the military when they seen, when there was things that were happening off the shores of Alaska that shouldn't have been. And I know Red Eye Patriot has a personal connection to some of that, as his grandfather served in World War II and fought on one of the islands here in Alaska. A lot of people don't realize that Alaska is the only U.S. state that has been invaded by a foreign country. So you guys might want to do a little bit of research on that. I think that, it's really interesting reading. But my grandfather was a carpenter as well when he got out, and he always carried an old-timer, a 34 OT. He carried it in his pocket. He wore overalls all the time. I'll put a picture of him up here, with my grandson, or with his great grandson, and he was my dad. That's how I viewed him. And he used this to cut everything from his seal meat to his ducks, to taking out the sheep's foot blade to make markings on some of his wood that he was cutting up. And I saw him use every single one of these blades, and every single one of them had a different purpose. I liked that so much so that I wanted one. And when I started working, ended up saving up enough money and ended up buying a buck 303, I believe it is. But my grandfather passed in 2008, and when things happen like that, he died of cancer, and it was pretty tough. it's even tough now. Forgive me. Just talking about it. So after he passed and after kind of the dust settled, you know, my mom and everybody was kind of looking over his belongings. He didn't have much. You know, he was a pretty simple man. And his knife was gone. It disappeared somewhere. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if one of my cousins or somebody that was in the house took it, or it just maybe got lost. I mean, sometimes the simplest explanation is exactly probably what happened. But needless to say, I never got it. And I never realized it till later, but, you know, I got a pretty good collection of 34 OTs. Every single time I see one, I buy it. And I try to give it out. I'll give it out as gifts. I got some for my grandsons. I got for my boys. I got enough for my boys, my son-in-law. You know, every single one of them that at the appropriate time, I'm going to be giving one of these as a gift. Most recently, I did a short where I gave my youngest boy and my nephew one of these. And, you know, my nephew in that video, he's my younger brother's son. Man, he's a provider. He's every year, he goes out and he does subsistence. He gets some moose and he shares it with people that need the meat. And he sends us moose every single year. And I really appreciate that, because growing up and living off of like moose and fish and everything else, when you live in the city and that kind of stuff is a little hard to come by, you kind of crave that. It's kind of a taste of your childhood or your home. And I wanted to give him that kind of as a thank you for kind of carrying forward some of what my grandfather taught. So Casey knows a little bit about that. I reached out to Brian with Bubba's EDC, and he had a black buck 34 OT that I saw in one of his videos, and I was like, man, I never seen one of those before. And I reached out and I asked him for it, and I wanted it in trade, and he sent it to me. And man, I cleaned it up, as you can see, Brian. It's nice and polished up. I didn't even do a video on it. I got so excited to clean this and get that polished up that I wanted to make sure that that was in the collection and it was where it needed to be. So Casey, thank you. That's a very thoughtful gift, man. That is so awesome of you. I can't tell you how much it means to me for you guys, all of you who checked on me when I was healing from, recovering from my surgery. You know, there's a few of you, Thomas, you know, from that pocket knife guy, without fail, Mangus, without fail. Every single morning I would see a text from them asking, hey, are you okay? How are you today? Hope your day is going better. Things will get better. You know, just encouraging words. And I don't know, it's kind of weird to experience that from people that you just meet, especially not in person. It was kind of like as JC Mountain Ajar would say, our virtual handshake, you know. And it's just a new thing for me to experience. Not to mention some of the subscribers that have reached out to me and asked to do trades, and a few boxes that they say that they want to send to me for projects and trades, you know. Really cool guys. And, you know, I think a couple of them deserve some honorable mention. You know, they do. I just haven't spoke to them, and I don't know if they want their name being said. But you guys who reach out and you guys who have supported me and text me here and there, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh, and Thomas, while I have your name fresh on my lips, I wasn't joking when I said I like your Leatherman Micra. The only thing this is missing is the engraving. It cracks me up that you carry that with that engraving, because it's kind of fitting. It's neat that you have that. You guys check his channel out, especially I think today's pocket carry or pocket dump, he shows that. You know, man, where else can I go from here? I don't think there's really much. I mean, I did mention Red Eye Patriot when I was talking about World War II. He's also a good friend of mine that has checked on me, and we've done a few trades, and we text back and forth. And not to mention that he's down to earth. He's a very talented individual. He made me this, and I got another one that I keep in the drawer next to some of my other things. I'll kind of show you a little show and tell here. But he would tell me I have to display them in the right way, and let me make sure I'm doing it. I don't know, that looks the same on both sides, but I'm gonna try to see if I got that right. Red Eye, is that right? I know this one's right. Yeah, this side shows a little bit more. That's a show side. Beautiful work. I mean, definitely a lot of talent there. Kind of becoming a dying art. Really appreciate these. I asked him if he can make me one that would be kind of like in a ulu shape, and trying to work out a trade with him. I got something really special for him that he asked for, and I'm hoping he can find some time to try to make a ulu shape thing for me. But let me go over a few other, well, I can't just highlight his things. I gotta highlight some of the things that my father-in-law gave me. These are ancient. This is a arrowhead. This is a tip of a shaft that would go on a addle. And we call them nukuk in our language, and they would go into the seals and stick in there. Also a needle made out of bone. I mean, how cool is that to have something that is like a relic that is still intact? I mean, geez, that's sharp. Here's another variant of what I just showed you. This is where the lashing would go through, and the lashing was made out of seal skin that was cut into long cords, and it was wrapped into it. And of course, as you know, these barbs would go in, and they would go in easy, hard to come back out. And this is very old as well. I mean, it's when they started transitioning from bone to brass. And this is brass. This is a harpoon head. This is a little beefier. And as you can imagine, this is for bigger animals. And this thing is sharp too, even though it's brass. I know for a fact because I use them. They have no problem puncturing the skin of sea mammals. Sorry, I just didn't feel it would be right showing off those arrowheads without showing off some of the things that are from our culture, our Yupik culture. You know, so kind of brings me to the last part for those of you who kind of stuck around towards the end. I know I've been talking quite a bit. It looks like 40 minutes now. But that's what you get with me, man. I am a talker. I am somebody who won't shut up. Well, I take that back. I know when to be quiet. But if I sit here and I talk, I'm going to ramble on about a few things. And I feel that's probably the best way you can get to know somebody. But man, I didn't realize how quick I was approaching the subscriber, 500 count subscriber. And I don't want to be one of those guys who doesn't do what everybody else does and do a giveaway. So let me kind of clear off some of this stuff so it doesn't get confusing as to what I'm going to be giving away. So 500 subscriber giveaway. I'm going to be giving out a slip, some stickers, and a jar of blade blubber, as well as, and I gotta make them, but I'm just using these as an example. So I'm gonna make a couple beads, not necessarily these, but one will be made out of moose antler and the other one will be made out of walrus ivory. Let me see if I got a better representation of that. All right, so the one on the right is walrus ivory, the one on the left is moose stag. So the subscriber, and I'll figure out a way to do this video where you guys can enter in. It won't be in this one. It will probably be in the next one. After we hit 500 and go a little past that, then I'll do a video and we'll do a drawing fairly after. And I'm going to talk to some of the other guys about how they've been doing the drawings to get the prizes to the people who actually have been supporting the channels and been there from the beginning. Because the last thing I want to do is give this to somebody who's just entering just because, and they never stuck around or they have no intention of sticking around. As Brian from Bubba's Blades said it best, my money, my rules. So I want to make sure one of my subscribers or one of my fellow YouTube knife partners get the prize and win this. So other than that, you know, maybe my next shop video I'm working on right now is custom beads, how to make a custom bead. After that, maybe I'll do a quick little knife restoration video. Tell me what you guys think. I just got this in today. It doesn't look like anything extra special. Actually has quite a bit of pitting on there. Looks well used, but man, at least well weathered. It doesn't look used much at all. The bone on that is just fantastic. And as you can see, that is a 19, let me count, sorry, I'm getting old, I need glasses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I see 7, maybe 6 or 7. So 1984 and 1983. And as you could see, this is what they called a new grind. I didn't even look at the spay blade yet. Same thing, looks in fantastic shape, at least lengthwise, but as you could see, there's some pretty generous pitting going on there. But I'm okay with that. I mean, I love fixing these up. I have new knives that will always stay new knives and I'll probably never carry. And these I'll probably never carry as well. I know a lot of people call these users, but a lot of times my intent, and maybe it's just a little, I don't know, unique. I like to fix these up, get them presentable, and then put them away from my display or for my collection. I really have no intention of ever carrying this. But what I think it needs to be done is, or done to it, is get brought back at least to some respectful state and be put in a display. So I'm probably going to be doing this sometime later. I got too many irons in the fire. I got a lot of projects, a lot of things that I need to get done and caught up for some people that either did trades or purchases. And of course, those take precedent. But as I mentioned before, at the end of each day, half an hour to an hour, I set aside for myself. And this would be done in that half an hour to an hour. because it's important for me to want to do these things. Otherwise, as I said in the video that I showed before, it makes me not want to be in the shop. It makes it feel like work, and I don't want this to ever feel like work. So man, I appreciate you guys being here, and for those of you who stuck around and listened to my whole video and my ramble, I really appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. Again, James at Werks. You guys stay warm, stay healthy. I'll talk to you guys later.